NATO allies have pledged to invest 5% of their GDP annually in defense by 2035. Now, what are the primary challenges and opportunities as well associated with such a substantial shift in spending for these economies?
Well, a lot of these economies, especially in Europe, are welfare oriented. So they've relied on the U.S. defense umbrella and have become rich off of not having to spend on defense. So they're going to have to make some hard decisions in terms of shifting their spending on social programs toward the defense programs. It's the old guns and butter analogy.
Mm-hmm. Well, then how might this increased defense expenditure impact their national budgets, particularly for countries you've already mentioned that are already grappling with high public debt or other pressing social welfare demands? Are we likely to see trade-offs with other public services?
Well, you can't do it any other way. I mean, are they going to raise their tax base? Are they going to, look for creative ways? You're going to have these, often small countries move things around so that they can afford to increase the sizes of their militaries. In many cases, there's a joke about NATO is that, we have a lot of flags, but not a lot of men.
Mm-hmm. Well, could this significant increase in demand for the defense-related goods and services lead to inflationary pressures within NATO countries, especially given the current global supply chain dynamics?
Well, I don't know whether it would lead to inflationary pressures. However, I do, see that, you could end up seeing shifts in the economies of some of these countries toward greater involvement of defense in their overall economies. I mean, in the United States, we have a rather robust defense industry. I mean, some of the smaller countries might not. I mean, Sweden and Finland have rather robust, defense, bases due to their decades of armed neutrality. In the European, like France, is definitely planning on increasing its spending, and same with the UK. But we have a long way to go, and right now it's just an idea. So it remains to be seen what really will happen over the next decade or so.
Mm-hmm. Well, they all agreed upon the 5% target. How do these NATO members typically plan to finance such large increases in defense spending, other than raising taxes or maybe cutting off other sectors? Are we likely to see more borrowing, reprioritization of the existing budgets, or just basically the new taxation measures potentially?
Well, I think you can end up seeing all of the above. I mean, they're going to end up having to increase their national debts to finance a lot of this. And, who owns a lot of the debt? The Chinese, ironically. So it's going to be a, vicious cycle for some of these smaller countries that have difficulty, keeping up.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Rossomando, now with some leaders like Spain's Prime Minister Sanchez expressing reservations about exceeding 2% of the GDP, what are the underlying economic arguments that might drive these differing national perspectives on defense spending targets? Now, keeping in mind that the U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized Spain for not being able to reach the 5% target, along with criticizing and sort of insulting Powell.
Well, let's put it this way. Spain has one of the weakest economies in Europe, so it's little wonder they'd say that they can't afford to increase their spending, but they should be looking at maybe a reduction of taxation to stimulate economic growth, or other economic policies to increase investment in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also mentioned that he would hold some talks with the Spanish leader, maybe to try and persuade him to spend more on defense. Do you think that will be fruitful?
I don't know. I mean, President Trump has a way of persuading people. I mean, he might say, we'll throw up, large tariffs or something like that if you don't step up. So, President Trump, has shown his ability to throw his weight around and get what he wants. So I wouldn't underestimate the president.
Mhm.